Ninjago is really old, like older than me. And with the 15th anniversary coming up, I've recently been revisiting the very first seasons of the show, and I can't help but notice things from the show that did not age well, to say the least. Every long running show will eventually face this problem, and Ninjago isn't any exception. So today, we'll go over 5 things in Ninjago that did not age well. Each entry is going to be better than the last, so stay tuned till the end of the video for news on my next big project. The first and most obvious thing that did not age well is the animation. The animation is something that Ninjago constantly improves within each installment, which is great, but what that means is looking back at the animation of the first few seasons, it does not hold up at all. That's not to say it's bad, it just looks bad compared to the newer seasons. Also, I feel like people are going to get mad at me if I don't say this. Will Film still had great animation. I'm not saying Wild Rain is better, it's just now that Ninjago has a bigger budget than, say, 10 years ago, and they're able to have a lot more assets and animators. Then comes the reflections of Season 5. Honestly, these reflections are so confusing, dude. In the reflection, Cole doesn't exist, which probably means he dies. And fast forward a decade later, that reflection has not come into fruition, I guess. Another problem with the reflections is that Zane is aged up in them. He actually says, I appear to look older. He's a Nindroid. How can he age? These are things I feel like Ninjago would never do nowadays, and just the overall dialogue of the scene didn't age well as well. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, this next one kind of hurts. This entry is about Kai and just how inconsistent he is. In the first 5 seasons, he's amazing. He gets great character development and goes through a full selfness arc. But then Skybound came along and absolutely destroyed his development. He becomes selfish and is obsessed with followers now. But it gets even worse, as in the 11-minute era, Kai becomes J 2.0 and was really bad. Finally, in Dragon's Rising, Kai is the best he's ever been, but boy did we have to go through a rough start to get to that peak. Another thing that didn't age well is the lore of this series. Now, the plot inconsistency I'm about to tell you about is something that is infamous in the Ninjago community, that being Garmadon and Wu's age. You see, it all starts in this short from 2011. It details the fight between young Wu and Garmadon, which seems cool at first. But then you sit down and actually think about it from a lore perspective, it just instantly falls apart. Okay, so before Garmadon went to the underworld, he had to have had Lloyd, as when he escapes the underworld, Lloyd is already 10. So that means that this short takes place 10 years before the pilots. But if that's true, aging hit Wu and Misako like a truck. I mean, look at 10 years ago compared to now. It's insane. A theory that's been going around is that without the protection of his robes, Wu starts aging drastically. But if that's true, then how the heck is Misako so old? No theory can explain this plot hole, and this problem only came up after season 1. So yeah, that is very confusing and did not age well at all. This final entry is something I guaranteed you have never worked out, and it has to do with frack. You see, at the end of season 1, Ninjago City has this whole gathering in City Park, and it's kind of like a protest against snakes, which makes sense since the Serpentine were a huge menace in the season. However, based on the flashback Eren and Frack share in season 2 part 2, we can understand that Frack and his family actually lived in Ninjago City. So we know snakes live in Ninjago, which gives this scene a whole new meaning, as these people could have easily been protesting against the snakes that were living in the city, as well as the Serpentine tribes. So basically, the Ninjago City citizens are racist. I bet you weren't expecting that. Now, obviously, this was not intended by the writers. They probably just forgot about this whole scene while writing season 2. And honestly, I can't blame them. Mistakes happen like this all the time. But boy, that is insane to think about. And that was 5 things that did not age well from Ninjago. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing so you won't miss out on any other future videos. As for my next big project, I'm officially announcing that I will be remaking my very first video and updating it to the 2025 version. It will be coming on December 18th, which is when my very first video was in fact uploaded. As I said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.